same thing the Pope does, and he robbed God's church of the truth and set in place that there is no vacuum there that is left. They set the false priesthood here on earth. So, thus the second temple represents the time which the judgment was in session. And as the pagan temple in the heathen land, just so the papacy trod down the truth, set up a pagan priesthood in the so-called Christian church during the Dark Ages, while the woman was in the wilderness, which was typified by the heathen land, Babylon, the woman. The second coincidence is the fall of Babylon monarchy by the conquest of the Medo-Persian kings. Let it be remembered that in the night of Belshazzar's drunken feast, Cyrus and Darius took the kingdom and slew the king. And so the fulfillment of the type in the antitype, which coincide with the imprisonment of the Pope in 1798 AD and followed by his death. Therefore, the death of Belshazzar, who defiled the God of heaven and earth, is a type of the Pope, who blasphemed for a time and half of time, fulfilling Daniel 7:25. The revelation, according to Revelation 13:10, at which time the prophetic 1260 years of the woman wilderness journey ended. So as we look into the history between the two temples, is very important, as this is leading us up step by step, without a shadow of a doubt, that these two temples are going to bring out the truth at this time, the present truth of this time, concerning God's church, concerning God's church, His true church, that will come on the stage, His true church that will come on the stage looking like this, with this particular system. This particular system, brothers and sisters, fully in place. This particular system fully in place. So you see how they are connected, intimately connected. We go to this chart, and soon we'll, in the next phase we'll go. Here we have it. Here we have it. Now we are going to be talking in the second part about this history. We have started the destruction, zoom in on this. Okay, so what we have here is the history between them. This temple was destroyed, robbed by pagan worship. Pagan, destroyed. The same service in the church. If you can see well, I'm gonna move this a little. Okay, if you can see well, the system is there. You can see the The same service, lamb, showbread, sanctuary service right here, Shekinah, the mercy seat. Destroyed by pagan worship. Destroyed by pagan worship. And when they set up, of course, they fell, the falling empire of Babylon by Cyrus. And right here we have worship in Babylon. Cyrus decreed true worship. So go to my video on decrees, and point by point you will see that the 3 decrees to build the 3 decrees to build the second temple, because it was frustrated. We're going to look at some of the frustrations. We're going to look at some of the frustration between the 2 temples, and that is pivotal to the frustration God is having by sending his messages to his church at this time, which is an example of what happened because the decrees here are symbolic of God's messages. Right here we have 1844, 1888, these are signposts, and we have 1929. So 1, 2, 3 messages, and then hooray, the temple, God's church. The temple is built, meaning God's church. The last message will bring God's church on this stage. Okay, God bless you. We are going to be talking about the 3 decrees in more details and the frustration, because this is important. As I said, please go to my video, decrees, and the details are there, but we are going to sort of go over it at this point so that we see the connection. Having been shown the temples in 2 forms, in 2 formats, we have been shown the temples here and the corresponding church that they are represented. Corresponding church that they are represented. The first temple, the apostolic church, Christ being the cornerstone. The second temple, it is in the form of a candlestick of gold, pure gold. Pure gold, brothers and sisters. A church without wheat and tares is what this system that God has set up to bring about. And the ministry, the conference, rejected it and are on their own role, doing their own thing, and saying to you that they are taking the gospel of this kingdom, the gospel of the kingdom to all the world. They missed the boat and they need to come back, because we have the message to show that this is God's purified church, that made up of first fruits, 144,000, and they will build the world. There will be no boundary. We read about them in Joel chapter 2. No boundary against God's church. And this will come out of the Seventh-day Adventist church. So send this to all Seventh-day Adventist leaders especially. Of course, the leaders we don't know. But since we know it's a layman's movement time, send it to all the laymen, because the layman will take over. God bless you. Stand by. One word, Advent Ministry.